share something. All right. We are officially live on Facebook.
I'm not done posting.
Right there. Well, keep posting because we got a second.
Okay.
All right. So my name is Chris. This is Kelly. She's posting right now. And we are the PTSD parents. Sorry we're late. We usually do this about 10 o'clock. But it's the first week of summer, and I actually didn't even know where Kelly was in the state. And my kids woke up at 9, and we were having French toast. And so that's just kind of how it goes today. Mm-hmm. But we're here now, and we're super excited. And I have sleep in my eye because I haven't showered. I just stuck my head under the sink because I realized I'd worn a hat every episode.
Oh,
nice hat, by the way.
Thank you. He does have hair.
I do have hair. Ta-da! Although it's
nailed it.
Very much less than it used to be. Huh. We may have to remedy that at some point. All right. So while I make one more post, you talk about what we're talking about today.
Okay, today we're going to talk about not having a crap attack on vacation when you have PTSD.
Crap attack is a medical term, by the way.
It is. Speaking of medical terms, if you need attention... If you need attention?
No, I don't know.
Okay, the point is, we're not professional medical people.
Nope.
So go get medical help from professionals if you need it. If you need attention, I guess call a friend.
You can call us for attention. I mean, that's easy.
We'll give you attention.
Yeah.
So, anyway, crap attack.
Yes.
I just got back from vacation yesterday. 5 days with my family, which was actually very fun and relaxing. Because we did not go to an amusement park.
Yes.
Crap attack is a term that I learned from Bob's Burgers, which, if you didn't hear that, that was the cats. They're kind of going crazy.
The lights and camera may be in jeopardy today. I'm not sure.
From Bob's Burgers, which I should have worn that shirt, but wasn't thinking that far ahead. And it's from Tina, who I think is my favorite character on there. Where she goes, "Don't have a crap attack, Mom." And she's trying to be cool. And so then crap attack instantly became part of our family vocabulary.
Yeah, of course it did.
So I think it's a good descriptor for a PTSD event.
Mm-hmm.
Crap attack.
I think it is. I'm just sharing one more post.
Just one more.
Just one more.
I'm not addicted. I can stop whenever I want.
Oh my gosh, shut up. I'm trying to get people into the broadcast. It's work.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, Charlotte wants to know if you have hair. If that's the reason.
I do.
You
don't want to.
What's your hair look like today?
It's not too bad.
Oh, that's not bad.
It was sticking up on this side.
Yeah, no, that's solid.
For a while, but...
Nope, totally good.
Yeah.
Totally good.
I didn't want to be distracted by it. It's too late.
Totally understand that.
So vacation.
Vacation. So we are, at least where we live in the Great Pacific Northwest, we are in the first full week, I think for most of us, of summer vacation.
I know.
Today's going to be a day, kids. But today's the first full week of summer vacation. Lots of folks, trying to finish. And I don't know about you, but I definitely spike this week. Only because there's more things happening here.
I definitely felt it today. The cats are, I don't know if they got catnip or what. It's crazy.
Happening right now.
I definitely felt it today because my husband, got up early. He got dressed. I think he even showered because he's crazy or something. I don't know. And he comes in and he's, talking to me. I'm still fully in bed, kind of asleep, waking up from a weird dream, trying to remember it because it was kind of entertaining. And I was just, I still don't know what he said to me. I couldn't understand his words because I hadn't had coffee yet. So I kept looking at him with this weird look, why are you really talking to
What's
me right
happening
now?
right now?
And I think he interpreted that as, please talk more. But he didn't bring me coffee either. So I was like, what are you... Like, we've been married for 23 years.
Yeah.
Like, this is not... We're not newlyweds. Like,
Right.
you don't have an excuse.
Yeah, this isn't new information.
Then I posted about it, of course. Like, who are you?
I did see the post about it.
Where I thought maybe he was taken by aliens.
I did read that.
A clone left in his place who did not know. And if that's the case, then I need to have more compassion on this clone.
Totally get that.
But
yeah,
I don't get
but
it.
It wasn't a clone.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
So it was him, and he came to you with questions and words.
And then he sent me messages, full sentences
With question marks.
Mm-hmm.
And you hadn't had coffee.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is going to be a long summer. This is going to be a real long summer.
This is day 3.
This is day, yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so...
And I have 2 teenagers at home.
Yeah, you do. And the only thing funner than 2 teenagers, in my humble opinion, is a 6 and an 8-year-old who wake up and my counselor, one of my counselors, because now, thanks to you, I have more than one, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, goals. Hashtag goals.
Hashtag goals. Let goals.
Yeah, so I have more than one. So one of my counselors, we were discussing my son, and she looked at me and she goes, well, it sounds like you two are a lot alike. And I'm like, okay, first of all, not nice. And, but she goes, well, he's just a verbal processor. And I said, right. I said, but at 47 years old, not completely, but for the most part, I have learned when I can just verbally process at random and when I can't. He has not.
Not in our house.
He has not. So he literally wakes up and starts talking.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And there are questions and there are statements. And hey, do you remember that one time when I was in kindergarten 2 years ago that somebody hit me in the butt? Yes, I do. And it's like, oh God, like all I want to do. Like I made breakfast for everybody this morning thinking this is going to be great. Everybody wanted the same thing, which number one is a complete rarity.
Wow.
So I was all over it.
You need to get like a lottery ticket.
Right. So I love cooking breakfast. I love breakfast. It's like my favorite thing. So, oh my God. The cats are like playing with things right now. So everybody got up. I made everybody breakfast, and they're talking the whole time. And I make my breakfast, and I think, thank God I can just sit down. And just as I made my breakfast, 2 of them finished their breakfast and wanted another round. And I'm like, oh!
I thought they spilled something.
No.
Wow.
No, that would have been better.
Again, lottery ticket.
Right. So I have had cold eggs and sausage today for breakfast. And, yeah, apparently I'm missing home because I'm drinking sweet tea by the gallon right now.
You need more tea bags. He had this post, I swear, he had like 60 tea bags in it. I was like, more! Okay, we need to talk about crap attacks.
Okay, so
on vacation.
How do they happen? How do we know they're coming? Because this is a big topic for me right now. Like trying to identify when I'm about to go sideways.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
And it's not the magic of it is it's not the same set of circumstances every time.
Sure.
Sometimes I can go grocery shopping and be totally fine. Sometimes I can go grocery shopping and want to lay down in the frozen section. So just lay down. Full cart, no explanation. So
curl up and take a rest.
Like when you went to Target. He was telling me about going to Target a couple weeks ago and was losing his mind. But other times you can go to Target and be fine.
Not really. Target in general is a trigger for me.
Every time you see this symbol, you're like,
I just duck and cover. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, but no, but sometimes you can get in and get out successfully, and sometimes, I mean, you're ducking and weaving all the way through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there are certainly those things that I think all of us have that we know, like, this is a trigger. I know I'm going into this. I have to do this, this, and this. And it's hard because for me, like, what I've had to learn and what I am learning right now is that, especially with my wife and with our oldest daughter, who's 18, it's a pretty simple, straightforward conversation. It's like, hey, I'm telling you now, this is going to kind of send me sideways, so I'm going to do everything I can to kind of stay cool. But if I don't, feel free to say something. And they both have permission to go, hey, you seem like you're going nuts,
Mm-hmm.
With the little kids, the 6 and 8-year-old, that's a very, very different conversation. And it's like, okay, we're going somewhere that Daddy doesn't like to go. And sometimes Daddy gets really frustrated. And I'm not mad at you, but I need you to help me to not get frustrated. Which is a little bit of a weird thing, because I don't want to put my emotional state, I don't want to make that their burden to carry.
Right. Mm-hmm.
However, if we work together and if we understand this, then this gets real successful for everybody.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a weird thing. So like when you go somewhere, like when you go on vacation or when you do something, do you have, because we've talked about this before in a lot of different areas, do you have a plan going in? Hey, I think these are the things that are going to kind of go sideways, and I need your help with this? Or do you go in and go, nope, we're going to work really hard to make everything great, and when it comes up, we're just going to deal with it when it comes?
I try to prepare.
Sure.
A friend of mine told me this really cool idea, because I've noticed one of my triggers is to go into a place I've never been before and be completely overwhelmed by smells, sights, sounds, everything.
Yeah.
And she was just telling me that when she plans her vacations, she goes on Google Maps and calls up the satellite view of wherever she's going, and she explores the area like that. I know. Huh. I was like, genius. Okay. And she does it because she doesn't like to look at maps in the moment. She likes to be in the moment. She likes to be familiar with where she is.
Sure.
But I'm like, that's genius.
It is kind of
for
genius.
Me. So whenever we're going somewhere now, and that was just a few months ago that I heard about that. But now, like before I went to Mexico, I looked it up on Google Maps and I explored the area. And then when we were there, I was like, oh, that's totally familiar. That's familiar. That's familiar. Right. And so then I just had to deal with, just there wasn't a sound element, but sometimes there can be. You don't speak Spanish. I loved it. I was like, I don't know anything you're saying.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and, and any relate, because, I've been to Africa and stuff, so there are sounds and smells and things not familiar. I mean, you're breathing different air. Sure. So, but I thought that was just... That's kind of
genius. So, A, kudos to your friend. Right. B, kudos to Google for doing something productive for society. Nice job.
Yeah, they don't even know.
I don't even know. I mean, I'm sure you've done so much, but, But for me, actually, this is the best.
Mm-hmm. So then it makes the
that's really
the acclimation faster.
Yeah.
Because it's like, everything's different.
Yeah. And we had an interesting... my wife and I had an interesting conversation, and there's something that we're going to talk about later, in a later episode. But we went on a walk with the kids, and one of my stressors definitely is like unfamiliar territory.
Mm-hmm.
So I get in that space, and I don't know where things are. I don't know how to get in or out of space, and so those are all the things that cause panic and wreak havoc on me. But we were for this walk, and it was really interesting because my wife, we were going, and she's taken this walk a bunch of times, but like when it comes to like walks with the kids and that kind of stuff, I don't really go on those. And part of that is because of the stress, and my wife feels like she has to watch for the kids and watch for me, and it's a lot of damn work. is
Yeah.
really what it is.
Yeah.
And so we went, and it was interesting, and I'm not even sure if she knew that she did this, but as we were walking, she was pointing out things that I would be familiar with. Not necessarily the place, but like, oh, well, that's where so-and-so lives, or so-and-so lives like up around here, or the kids had a birthday party over here, or that kind of stuff. And it was interesting because that...
Mr. Rogers.
I know.
Or Sesame Street.
Yeah.
These are the people in your neighborhood.
Exactly. Exactly. So she's doing this, and it was interesting because it's like, oh, okay, so I'm not in foreign territory. I'm not necessarily familiar, but I'm not in foreign territory. And that, that and some other things, I mean, I think made a huge difference, just being able to be aware of where you are. Like, I like going, I realized about a year ago, I like going to the same places that I know because I know.
Yeah.
Like, even at restaurants, like, I'll order the same thing because I'm familiar with it, and there's no surprises.
I always think, today I will try something different. No.
Right. Nope. Today I'm gonna...
It's okay.
Nope. No, I'm not.
Not today.
No, I'm not. It was a nice thought, but it's not going to happen.
Not here, not now.
Mm-mm. Oh my gosh! All right, so what else? What's your best crap attack story?
Oh, on a vacation or not?
Yeah, on a vacation.
On a vacation. Oh man,
Because right now I want everybody else to feel better about their own life.
They're gonna. It would have to be the Disneyland trip just a few months ago.
The recent one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where, oh man, where I really felt like I could do physical violence to somebody for the first time.
Yeah.
Like I felt that panic and rage. Like I just wanted to.
Yeah.
But my husband is band director at a high school, so we go. I'm not going anymore. Every other year I almost said to Safeway. We go every other year to Safeway.
It's a big trip. Big trip.
Other year to Disneyland where he takes like 60 people and he's like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, whatever, man. And they go and they stay up all night and they do all these rides and I don't know. So we went and they have changed some things about Disneyland.
Right.
One of which is the security. Disneyland. But it's like as if New York City had 2 subway trains. It's what it's like.
Okay.
Can you imagine New York City having 2 subway trains? Just 2. That's what Disneyland is like with their security. They have 2 openings. One here and one here. One for California Adventure, one for the regular.
Oh,
for
right.
security.
Right.
So that's where you go through the table. That's not even to get in the park. That's just to go, put your purse or bag on the table. And now they have it where you have to go through these metal detectors.
Yeah.
And there's no covering and there's the hot sun and there's chafing and sweating and it's like hot and
Only because I know you and I'm sitting right here. Like I can literally feel this.
You can feel the... And I'm standing there.
Look, I'm getting tense just hearing the story.
I just cricked my neck. So I'm standing there with my 12-year-old who thankfully didn't really talk the whole time.
Yeah.
Like he was fine. He was just like, la, 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 la. Thank you. So, but in the meantime, I'm standing there just trying to not lose my crap, not have a crap attack. So, an hour and a half in this line. And we finally get up there. We get through, and then we waited another half an hour in line to get into the park.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and we needed to be somewhere because the band was going to play.
Right.
And I hate it. Like, one of my things about my abuse story is to be blamed for things that I didn't do. Mm-hmm. So even if I leave in plenty of time and I'm still late, I feel that.
Yeah.
But I left in plenty of time. So, like, literally. So I'm feeling that on top of all the environmental things. So we go in, and I have the itinerary, and I'm like, okay, the concert is in this place. You know Disneyland, and it's just full. There's people everywhere. There's no room to walk. And I'm like, where is this place? I don't know where this place is. So I do what I think is intelligent, and I ask someone who's wearing a Disneyland whatever, and I'm like, where is this place? I don't think we have that here. we have that? Like, you should know, man. You should know. And that was it. And then he just like, I don't know, did what he was doing. I just saw like red at that point. I was like, oh. So we wander around. I'm like, we're not going to make it.
Oh my gosh.
My 12-year-old went, he said, okay, let's go on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yeah.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. That was the first ride I ever took him on.
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh,
it's a moment.
It was a moment, which is so weird in the middle, because the crap attack stuff hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
I'm barely holding it together. So we go to Fantasyland, which is no fantasy. It is literally the worst place on. It is hell. Like the devil said, hell on earth, and Fantasyland was created. So
we are never getting a free trip to Disneyland.
No, unless they can make it PTSD safe. We want people with PTSD to come here. Okay, but anyway, so like Fantasyland, there's people, and then this guy in front of me pounds his kid, who's not much smaller than mine, and it just, and it was loud, like I can still hear it. And, you know, these kids were just messing around, or, you know, they were just being brothers. Boom! And then he starts steering him around, you know, yelling into his ears. And I was like, I'm not going to make it.
That's
I almost laid down.
Work.
I almost just laid down. So, I don't know how, we went on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And the funny part about that ride is, ironically, my son says, well, you know Mr. Toad goes to hell. It was right. And I'm like, what? No, he doesn't. He goes, oh, yeah. He hits somebody with his car. And he full on goes to hell.
Is that a real thing?
It is real. It's a very short. It might have been longer before. But he does. He steals a car. This is like a Grand Theft Auto. He steals a car. And then that's what you're doing is like with Mr. Toad. Right. And they hit something or someone or whatever. And then goes in front of a judge and goes to hell.
What?
I was like, this is the best.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't believe it, but it's true. So anyway.
Oh, okay.
So then.
Wow.
We go off the ride. Somebody asked me politely to move. And I almost like, I wanted to punch him in the face. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, clearly problem. We have reached like the level of.
DEFCON 1.
Right. So I'm like, I got to figure out. And of course I figured out where the place did actually exist, where the band was.
Right.
So I took my youngest there, and I'm like, there's where you need to go. There are the people. Yeah. Turned around, walked 10 feet, dissolved into tears. Cried the rest of the day. Rest of the day.
Yeah, I think I remember that day because I actually think you were texting.
I was texting,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to make it. I can't do this anymore.
Oh my gosh.
It was awful. So I just basically sat at a table in some random, outside the park. Right. I cried the rest of the day. Ugh. And that's when I was like, I'm never coming here again. I can't.
Ugh. All right.
That was the worst.
That beats mine. Yeah, that would beats mine. So here... Well,
and I feel bad because I want to be the fun...
Right.
Disneyland loving person.
Right.
That also multiplies.
And it multiplies it because you're sad, and we've talked about this before as well, because we want to do the things that are, I don't know if expected is the right word, but we want to do the things that other people do and enjoy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard for us to understand why you enjoy certain things. Because
why would you do that?
This causes me trauma. Yet you're laughing and smiling, and I don't get it.
You know what I was thinking?
Understand.
On our latest trip, we went to this fairly entertaining timeshare thing, and so we got free rafting, whitewater rafting. I loved the whitewater rafting.
Yeah.
I hate amusement park rides.
Yeah, but you love nature. You love to be out in nature.
I do,
and that may be part of that because it's not. Commissioned or create. Well, it is created, but not by man. It's right. It's different.
Because I was ready to go again. I was like again.
Yeah, all day, every day.
All day. Yeah.
Interesting.
It was.
Yeah. The one thing that I learned in Disneyland And Disneyland, sorry, we didn't actually mean to make this episode about you. You just give us a lot of material. I actually went. I am not a fan of the happiest place on earth, only because crowds, people, the whole thing make me want to lose my mind.
Yeah.
And they make me want to curl up in a ball somewhere. But my wife is a huge fan.
Huge.
Loves it.
I'm surprised she doesn't have
Loves
the
it.
pins.
She has pins.
She does?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got pins when we were
And
there.
the sash, the pins.
Oh, yeah, the necklace. Yeah, she has all that stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. 'Cause,
Yeah.
wow.
So we took a trip with our oldest daughter, and this was before my diagnosis. So at this point, I was just cranky and an a-hole all the time with no reason. So we went.
Is it better
And we
know why you're being an a-hole
God,
or
who
not?
knows?
Like, I always
Who
have
knows?
that question.
So we had, the three of us sat down before we went, and we had this really, really long, serious conversation. And it was, look, I want to be with you guys on this trip. I want to go. I want to have fun. Here's how I can have fun. Do not make me do crap I don't want to do. And just be okay with it.
Yeah.
If you say, hey, we should go do that, and I go, have fun, then just go have fun. Don't convince me of anything. Don't force me to do it. Don't tell me how great it's going to be. Go do it. I'm happy sitting here waiting.
And that's
really
the thing. I'm not sad.
I'm not sad either.
It's
I'm
not
sad
personal.
either. No, I love the fact that I'm somewhere present where you two are having so much fun. That brings me joy.
Exactly.
But one night, and they did get a little irritated with me because I left the park one night. Like they had all this stuff planned. I'm like,
I did that too.
And I went back to the hotel we were at, and it's like just down the street. So I think I might have walked or taken a shower, whatever. But I just went back and went to bed. And so like my number one thing right now, and the thing that I'm even trying to figure out just in day-to-day life, not just on vacation, but you got to make time for yourself. You have to make time to sit and to be okay, and to recharge, if you need to, so you can be as engaged as you're able to be. You have to be able to do that. And that trip, honestly, was probably one of the best trips we've ever had because they did. Everybody understood the rules going in. We had a great time, and it was fantastic. It was awesome. But oh my goodness, but it'll be a little while before I head down to the happiest place on earth.
Never.
Or I'll be highly medicated. One of the two. I mean, either one is fine actually.
Yeah.
I'm getting it right. Yeah. So here's a question, because we want to make this Facebook Live a little more engaging and a little more fun, not just us. I haven't talked about this yet.
Oh, okay. Me. That's fine.
Whatever.
Oh, you want to do more work? Okay.
Yeah, I'm rolling with it, Kelly. Whatever. But I would love in the comments for you guys to tell us what your tips are for avoiding a crap attack, because we'd be real curious. And also, I mean, if you're willing to share, I'm in, man. I mean, tell me your biggest crap attack story, because I love me a good story. And plus, Kelly's got a big season of shows coming up, so the more material she has, the better. Although we won't tell you the story without permission.
Yeah, we won't tell you the story.
Yeah, but we will ask if it's a good one. Definitely. I think the big takeaway for today is breathe. Know what you're going into before you get there.
Yeah.
And take some time for yourself if you need it. Really, quite frankly, even if you don't need it, get in the habit of taking some time for yourself, because you do need it. You just don't realize it yet. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
All right.
If you want more, visit us at ptsdparent.com.
Please. And if you have stuff you would like us to talk about as well, throw that at us, and we'll definitely make a list and get on that. We're going to do, like I said, we are going to get back into the podcast, because we've got a whole series for the podcast that we're going to do for a second season. We're going to continue to do the Facebook Lives. Although my schedule is changing a little bit, so we're going to figure out a good time. So, more work for you. If you have a time that you would like to see the show at, evenings are going to work out real well for us. But if there's a day that you like better than another day, let us know. And if we kind of get a bunch of talents, we'll try to make that happen.
Ooh, we should make a poll.
Oh, we can make a poll.
On Facebook.
We'll make a poll.
We'll make a poll.
We'll make a poll.
Please join our poll.
Please hop on our poll.
And scene. I think we have to end. End it now. End it now.
Okay. All right. We'll see everybody. Ashley, thank you for joining us. So we will talk to you guys later. Hop on the ball. Hop on the ball.